What's up, YouTube and the knife community? I'm going to talk about the Tim Curry Venator. I believe that's how you say it. It's a Wharncliffe. You see his little stamp right there. I don't know if I've said this on Instagram, but I'm sure I have. I use all my knives, so you can see that this knife is used. It does cut things. I do cut things with it. It's scratched. You see the end of it right there. But really what I want to touch on was the whole custom knife deal in general. These are custom knives. They are made by hand by a human being. I believe, I mean, Tim doesn't even know about this video, or I didn't even ask permission to make it, but I believe all his frames are water jetted. I do believe. And then they come out pretty much squared, and he contours them. So that's all hand done. Of course, the clip. This is one of his hot hammers, which I don't believe that he's going to offer that anymore. And of course the pivot, that's all sculpted. But these are handmade knives. And I notice on Instagram a lot of guys complain about things and say that this isn't perfect. I mean, it's done by hand. It's done by eyes, by vision. You can see the grind in there. It's going to be hard to see on the phone, on the camera, but it's not perfect. But to me, that's what makes the knife. That's why I like the knife so much, because I know that this was a single person's idea that person came up with. And, you know, I'm just using this as an example, but any custom knife, it's what they came up with. They said, this is what I want it to look like. This is what I think would look good, and then they made it happen. And you know, that's the result. That's what you get. And you know, for me, this knife is perfect. I mean, it's one of his bigger ones. It's a XXL. But to me, the knife, just the way it feels, the length of it, just overall everything about it, it's my favorite knife. And it, you know, he is from Texas, so I'm in Texas, and you know, that helps quite a bit. But I know I want to say that there's not too many of the XXL Venators out there. I don't think that he's made a whole lot of them. I'm sure he will now. I mean, he's getting so popular. And I mean, for, you know, good reason. I mean, his knives are really well-made knives, and they're really good-looking knives. They're good in the hand. The ergos on them. I mean, everything that you'd want to do with this knife. I mean, this knife is going to do it. So it's definitely nice, no doubt about it. And you know, the whole reason what attracted me to Curry knives from the very beginning was the hamon. You know, I'm a stickler for shit on the blade. I don't know why, but I think it looks good. It sets everything off. It changes everything about the knife. And if it's there on purpose, I dig it. But yeah, everything about it is it's just really clean. The contours on it are really nice. Just overall everything about the knife. And it's sturdy. I mean, it's a tank. You would think that this knife would be, you know, really, really heavy, but it's not. He's thinned the frame down quite a bit. It's not super thick. I know some of his other ones are thick. This isn't my first knife that I've had from him. I did have a Myrmidon from him, or Myrmidon, however you want to say it. But a lot of these knives, I won't pronounce the names right because it's what I think it is, and it's probably not right. But I did have a Myrmidon, and it was a nice knife. I don't have it anymore for my own personal reasons, but not because I didn't want it, but they're just really, really good knives, in my opinion. I think that that his knives are going to only get better and better. I mean, even from this one in the Myrmidon that I had, I mean, it's you can see a lot of the difference, and he's just getting better and better. And it's inspiring, really, because there's a lot of knife makers out there that want to do what he does, and younger ones. I don't want to say too much about the older ones. I mean, there's definitely some good knife makers out there, but shit's getting crazy, man, with the whole knife situation and reselling and what people want for them, and the stuff that people bitch about. It's crazy to me. Some of the knives that I have, and the things that I read, and the things that people complain about, and the imperfections in them, and people just got to understand that these are custom knives. It baffles me that what people bitch about. I can understand if it didn't want to lock up, or something malfunctioned, the pivot or the lockup, or something like that. But I mean, the grinding on the blade, that's crazy. I mean, a lot of these knives I see that, and I'm particularly talking about Instagram because that's pretty much what I follow the most, but I notice a lot of these knives are not used, and people don't do with them the things that they were intended for. But that's their knives and what they want to do with them, so that's fine. Me personally, I use them. I cut shit with them. I'm not a big seller. I'm not a big trader. I've probably given away more knives than I have sold or traded, and that's just the way that I am. I would want other people to enjoy them, friends to enjoy them, more than somebody else. And what pisses me off the most is that a lot of these guys will sell something and turn around and bitch at you about the price and what you're selling it for, and then turn around and make a profit off of it. And it's that's not what I'm about. If they want to do it, fine. I just won't be involved with that. But it's the whole custom Chavez thing is it's ridiculous. That was a $600 knife, new when he first came out, and now people are fetching $1,200 to $1,600 for him. It's ridiculous. It's a good knife, no doubt, but that much money, people are just going off what it's based off of, and which is fine. I've had one. I don't have it anymore. I traded that one off, but it's a great knife. I'm not saying anything bad about Chavez at all, because I do have a 228. So, but it's getting nuts, man, with the whole knife deal and what everybody's doing, and what they're trading them for and selling them for. And I completely understand supply and demand, but man, it's just getting nuts, in my opinion. I'd rather have something that I can use and carry with me, and something that's good in the pocket and that I can pull out and use. And I'm definitely not out skinning shit. I live in the country, but I'm not out skinning shit every day. I'll open up a skull can, or cut a piece of rope, or dig shit out of my hand. But other than that, I'm out in the yard or whatever and cutting stuff. But you can see all the cut marks on there. But it's really good, $10.95 or W2. Pretty thick tie at one time, slim down. I really like the thumb stud on here. I really like that. Really like what he's done with that. I'm pretty sure he got that and contoured that down. I could be wrong, but really like that. I really like the pivot too. There's not a whole lot that I would change about this knife. That's probably one of the reasons why it is my favorite, because there's nothing I would change about it. And Warncliffe, I do like Warncliffes. I mean, I have others, but I just really like a Warncliffe. And I have sharpened this knife. I put a thinner wicked edge on it. Not too big about polishing this one. I do have polished ones, but I've used it, so I've sharpened it. But yeah, that's it. I mean, Texas knife maker, Texas knife. Great, great knife. I'd recommend anyone picking up a Curry if you can. Anyone. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that want them. I wish everyone the best of luck in getting one. I hope you don't get gouged and you know, prices crazy that you pay for it because you want it. And you know, if you get it, just remember that it's a custom knife. There's gonna be differences in it. I'm sure that everything's gonna work here in the pivot and the triangle area and the lockup and all that, but as far as blade goes, there's gonna be some differences in the blade. Nobody's perfect. And I say that with confidence. And if it pisses some knife makers off, I don't know what to tell them. Nobody's perfect. You're human. There's going to be differences. But it's a great knife. I'm happy with it. That one will never leave my collection. I'll always have that knife. I won't sell it. I won't trade it. And I know that's probably the worst thing to say, but this one will never go. And I guess that's it for my first YouTube video. I hope that it's helped. I don't see a lot of reviews on them. I hope that it, you know, helped a little bit, but I just really wanted to get out the whole customization thing. And, you know, not just a Curry, but any custom knife. I see differences in even mid-techs. They're all different. They're all going to work differently. One guy's going to have one better than the other, no doubt. Yours are going to be better than somebody else's. But that's it. And if this works out, I'll do more of my shitty reviews.